So today on the Steinway L Chippendale piano, we are doing some maintenance. The keys I knew were dirty. Um, Even before the piano got here, I could see it, which is kind of disappointing because I would have thought that having been rebuilt by Steinway at the Steinway factory, they would have done more of a thorough job of little things like that. They're not little things. Actually, it's you can really see it when you look for it at least. But also just that it helps to. It's hard to regulate a piano if there's dirt in the way. You can't really do as good a job. You don't know if there's fluff and stuff that's interfering with the mechanism. So anyway, I took all the keys out. As you can see here, they are all numbered, stamped, which is nice. And I polished the capstans, these little brass things. If they're tarnished, they're rough. They don't slide on the action part that they connect with, and it squeaks. So those I've polished, cleaned most of the dirt off. I still have a little bit of work to do. There have been some spills over the years that I noticed. So the keys should look like this. They should be clean on both sides, not just the top. But when you're playing, when you depress the key, you can see this sideways, and it gets dirty because as you're playing, your fingers, which are always a bit oily, they rub as they press the key down on. They rub on the adjacent key, and actually where they get black, which you can really see here. This one I haven't done yet, and you can see years of grunge. It's actually black on the top edge there. That's probably never been cleaned. It's just gross. They should look like that. Given what I'm sure the owner who did the rebuild must have paid for it, I'm disappointed. And there's dirt in the dust in there that never got cleaned out. And those were never polished. So I'm like, I've noticed a few other things about Steinway that I'm disappointed. I would have thought they would have done a more thorough job, but they didn't. In the way that when they restrung it, they were a bit careless in that too. Also, in the key bed, this is what the keys rest in. They pivot on the center rail. They didn't even clean the felt. It was just caked in mouse droppings and years of dirt and crud. I vacuumed it, and they're okay, but there is some moth eating. You can see here that should have been replaced. And there, it's moth eating. That happened a long time ago. That's not anything recent. They could have at least cleaned it, but they didn't. The front rail punchings are actually in good shape. There's a bit of moth wear, but not much. But the original paper punchings underneath that they used to control the depth that the keys go, those are brittle and turning to dust. That was a rebuild? Really? And some of them aren't even... some of them are coming right out. So like, Steinway, huh? That's a Steinway rebuild. Wow. What they did do is change all the hammers, the felt hammers, and the hammer shanks, these wooden attachments that hammers are attached to and pivot, and the flanges that they pivot on, those are all brand new. And they are in pretty good shape, but I noticed that when the sections of hammers in each quadrant that they install, you draw a line through here to find the strike point, and they were way off. The strike point doesn't even line up with their lines. I'm like, what? I mean, come on. The strike point's fine, but they didn't get it right. Steinway? And this is a factory where the thing was built in the 1930s and was sent back because it was the best. And if you don't rebuild a Steinway, they say that you don't have a Steinway anymore, you have a SteinWAS. Really? Okay. So, note to self, I could have done as good a job. In fact, I probably will. I'm not going to rebuild it again, but and I've noticed other things that I will point out when I get to it. But for now, that's where we're at. So I'm just cleaning and reconditioning the felt and trying to get the keys level because the keyboard kind of went ooh, like this a little bit because the felts are deteriorating and that they weren't level. So, and that's going to affect not only the way it looks but the way it feels when you're playing because the keys aren't sitting flat. Anyway, this is a tedious job and it's taken me almost 2 hours to get that done. Ugh. But I have to do it before I can do the next step of regulating and doing the adjustments. It has to be clean, it's got to be stable, and then you can make adjustments. If it's not clean and it's not stable, your adjustments are a waste of time because it won't stay. So, we're cleaning. Yuck. More in a bit.